My name's Ash. I'm the software architect behind D3 from D3 Technologies. D3 is what we call an integrated show creation system. It includes features that are usually split into multiple different products in one piece of software. We've been selling D3 for about 5 years now, and this is the first time we've made it available as a software-only package, which we call D3 Designer. And that's what's new this show. I'm going to give you a quick run-through of a project that we did with D3, which was the Buckingham Palace projections at the Queen's Jubilee this year, just to give you a rough idea of what it does. There's a lot more depth to the product than I can show you in 5 minutes. So D3 starts as a three-dimensional simulator of your stage. Whether you have a projection surface like this building, whether you have lights, or as you can see on stand behind us, LED and lights, it's an integrated place to put all your stage fixtures, and it simulates it in real time, so you can fly around, you can look at things from different viewpoints. If your client has questions, how is it going to look from here, you can show them really, really quickly without having to render things out or to create video, to spend hours doing renders. It's all in real time. It also lets you grab video files and play them onto the surface. So here you're looking at content which is about 4K by 1K. Playing on a laptop, you can actually go higher than that as well. You can go up to about 8K. You can play that video content onto the surface of the building, which has been captured from a laser scanner. So you take laser scanners, put them in front of the building, generate a really accurate 3D model, which you then bring into the system. There's a timeline here, so you can look at your content. So that's a video file playing on there, but I can also grab another piece of video, drop it on the timeline, and now you can see how that video looks. So the key thing to notice is that because we can look at this in 3D, we can show people how it's going to look from different viewpoints. So here you can see that when you're straight on from the building, things look good, but then when you go too far off the end, you can see that there's distortion because it's being projected onto the building. So this lets you give your clients a really good idea of what things are going to look like from different positions. So there's no surprises basically when you get to showtime. The D3 does more than just let you simulate, it also actually lets you deliver the show. So in this system we have some simulated projectors. So here you can see we have 6 projectors, which in fact for the actual show each of those was 6 separate projectors on a stack, but there were 6 separate signals. So D3 lets you actually position your virtual projectors where they're going to be in real life, and then we'll figure out when you get to showtime what it should be sending to each of those projectors. So you can see here now this is a view of the stage itself, and these are the outputs going to the individual projectors. So if we zoom in on Tower 1, that's the output that's actually being sent, and I can go in and I can say rotate this projector by rotating it like so. So you can see I'm rotating it to say 45 degrees roughly. And now you can see on the output that the output is shifted. This also gives you a whole bunch of warping tools. So I can go and add. So this is now the output being sent to that projector. I can go in and I can grab bits of the image and move them around. So it gives me a whole bunch of really, really powerful tools to ensure that... Yeah, that's great. It also has an auto calibration tool, which is quite useful. So the auto calibration tool lets you add reference points to your mesh, and then when you actually arrive on site, you will grab each of those points and position the crosshairs in real life to tell it where they are, and it will then figure out exactly where that projector is, and therefore what it should send to the output. On this project, the calibration time was about half an hour for each projector. So it actually lets you do large projection projects in situations where you don't have much time to set up. It allows you to deliver those really quickly. And that's it really. The key thing with D3 Designer is that it allows you to build your entire show on a laptop, to show it to your client, to get all the feedback that you need to get, to make whatever changes you have to make, and then when you arrive on site, you don't have any surprises. You have a very efficient set of tools to convert this visualization into reality. That's the basic idea.
And converting the visualization, you can't like blend in other lighting sources or other things you can do as well.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
This system will output DMX, so you can merge that DMX with lighting signals. You can also control the system from a lighting desk, so it'll integrate into your complete playback system.
Can you visualize those lighting effects as well in the system?
No, this is not an external lighting visualizer. You can, however, create as you can see on our stand. You can actually control lights from within it. So it treats a light as a pixel. So you can take video and you can map it onto LED and onto lights. But it doesn't do the job as, say, ESP or WYSIWYG. We've been careful to keep away from that functionality.
And it's running on timecode, for example. Can it be really the show file,
yes.
so the show controller?
Yeah. So you can control it from timecode, you can output timecode, you can control it from MIDI, beat clock, ArtNet. It speaks all the protocols that you need to speak.
If I understand you correctly, you map the surface initially with a laser scan. Yeah. Then you turn up on the day, position your projectors, hit those reference points, and working backwards from those reference points, the software identifies exactly where the projectors have been positioned. So if you turn up on the day and for some reason they've had to shift the tower 8 foot to the left,
exactly.
it
That's no problem. You
does
don't
all
have to
that
rerun
for
the
you.
content. It does that.
Nice.
So previously you'd have to make 6 different video files and then do some warping to get them into the right place. Here you just make one big video file, apply that to your surface. In this case it's a 4K, roughly a 4K surface. So the workflow is a lot simpler.
And the program also controls the projectors itself, so the setup of the projectors?
Well, we have a limited ability to send IP strings, so we can do things like dimmer control, focus control, things like that. It's not fully integrated into the system, so in other words, it will not allow you to say send the same thing to all projectors to get them exactly as you have set up over here. It's still more manual process.
So setting up from the grid is really something that needs to be done on the projector itself.
That's correct. That's correct. But then once you have your projectors roughly in place, you don't need to worry about keystoning. You don't generally need to use any of the in-projector tools. This system has enough of those tools to do that. So you can, for instance, I'll give you an idea. Let's say if you look at projector 6 here, which is this one, I can go in and let's see tower 6. This is this one here. I can go feed warping. I can say add a mesh deform. So this actually lets me go in and grab individual vertices of the mesh and move them around.
Okay.
So you have very, very fine control. If let's say that there's some feature that wasn't present in your laser scan, like somebody's put in a new, a tree, or something, or the other thing that happens a lot is where you're working on a stage where you're working with a CAD file. So they've actually built this structure, and the CAD file you get is inaccurate for some reason. Usually what happens is they'll stop giving you the model at a certain point. They'll make changes. They'll forget to tell you, and so you'll have a model that's out of date. So this allows you to fix those things really quickly.
What kind of video formats do you then handle?
We use a format called DXV, which is it's specifically optimized to be decompressed on the GPU, which is how we are able to play really large canvases. So we can play up to 8K in size, and then actually that can be spread across many machines. So there's a very simple interface here that shows you these are the projectors themselves. Mm-hmm. This is the facade of the actual building, and then these are the individual machines that are doing the playback. So each machine can handle up to 4 outputs, and this allows you to position each of those on your physical outputs from a single machine. So you can actually just turn up on site with the whole show finished.
And can you take in external content? So if someone turns up and says, I want to put a bit of PowerPoint on Buckingham Palace.
Yes, you can do that. This will take the machines take up to 2 1080p inputs, HD SDI.
The output of the projectors, is that done via the machine or is it done via an external matrix router?
Either way, it doesn't really. I mean, generally we go through a matrix. We would also run a show with what we call an understudy, which is a machine that's loaded with all the content and is capable of taking over from any other machine.
Okay, that's good because you have a lot of content to be handled. Right. So MacBook Pro can be quick, but
yeah, exactly.
It's done by a different machine then.
Yeah, so no, it would be a D3 machine. So in the case of if a machine fails for some reason, then you would switch that understudy over to take over the job of the machine that failed.
And that's instant, is it?
And that's instant. D3 can also send a command to your matrix. So you can set up a preset, and D3 will if it detects that a machine has failed for some reason, it will tell the understudy to switch over and send a command to the matrix to make sure that you don't notice.